The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Due to unrelenting rains, Cainta Rizal is experiencing severe flooding. Let's get more details. We have JC Cosico reporting to us live. JC, can you give us the latest situation?
Riza, parts of Cainta Rizal are submerged in floods following rains brought by the southwest monsoon. Here along Bonifacio Avenue, residents experience about knee-deep floods. Some of them had to ride sidecars so they could get to their destinations. Others even had pets with them. While some had no choice but to wade through flood waters, children were also seen outside their homes, seemingly enjoying it. Cars also had to stop and reroute because of flooding. Whilst in some villages, like in Karangalan and Village East, residents experience waist-to-chest deep floods. Cainta Disaster Office says their town is a catch basin of upstream areas, Rodriguez and Antipolo, and some affected barangays are also near the Marikina River, which is currently under alert level 2. Riza, as of now, we're experiencing light to moderate rains here in Cainta Rizal, while some 70 families are staying in different evacuation centers in town. Back to you.
JC, thank you very much for that update and stay safe. Again, that's JC Cosico reporting live from Cainta. Meanwhile, the Marikina River's water level is continuously rising and has now reached 16.4 meters. Speaking to us here at One News earlier, Marikina Mayor Marcy Teodoro said this is due to the 3-digit rainfall rate experienced in the area earlier this morning.
Early this morning, around 1 in the morning up to 3 o'clock this morning, we registered around 127 to 133 millimeters of rain. So this prompted us to raise the alarm level to the second alarm. And this is also the reason why the river has swollen up to 16.4 meters.
But Teodoro also said that most streets in Marikina are still passable except for the Mayor Hill Fernando Avenue and the area near the City Hall.
One major area is the Hill Fernando Avenue. This area connects Marikina to Cainta, to Marcos Highway going to Quezon City. Primarily, that's the major area that is not possible. This area in near the City Hall also that's being flooded now. All other streets are possible.
The 6.7 magnitude earthquake that rocked Calatagan, Batangas, and various parts of Luzon did not yield any death, injury, or damage to property, according to Batangas Governor Dodo Mandanas. In a statement posted by the Batangas Public Information Office, Mandanas said that there's also no threat of a stronger earthquake or even a tsunami. To tell us more about the aftermath of the earthquake, we have on the line with us Head of Calatagan, Batangas, MDRRMO, Mr. Ronald Torres. Sir, good afternoon. Can you give us the latest situation in Calatagan, and were people evacuated, or was there a need to evacuate people?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Sir
Hello.
Ronald.
Yes.
Sir, can you give us the latest update po dyan sa may Calatagan? Did we have the need to evacuate people?
Yes, ma'am. As early as 6 a.m. this morning, we started evacuating households which are affected by flood. Prior to the earthquake, we have existing evacuation centers. We have evacuated 25 families composed of 96 individuals. These are affected by the landslide and flood due to continuous rain in the past few days. And these families, and additional to these evacuees, are 12 families and 47 individuals this morning.
So Ronald, given of course the rain that has yet to stop, are we also experiencing some flooding in some areas?
Yes, ma'am. We have experienced flooding in most of our flood-prone barangays. Luckily, the flood subsided and we are not experiencing heavy rains right now, but still, since the occurrence of earthquake and that the soil is already saturated due to the continuous rain, all those evacuees, we are not advising the evacuees to return to their household, to their houses.
So Ronald, are we also experiencing some aftershocks?
We have experienced 2 aftershocks. After the 4:49 a.m. earthquake, we have experienced one at 4:57 a.m. and then one at 5 a.m. Registering in our earthquake intensity meter are few other aftershocks, but those aftershocks we are not yet. Those are not felt. Only the 2 aftershocks after the main earthquake.
Okay. Mr. Torres, were there also any rescue operations or evacuations done in high-risk residential areas?
Our BDRNCs took in charge in evacuating those affected.
Okay. Sir, finally, can you give us an update perhaps also on the Taal volcano?
As per PHIVOLCS advisory last night, alert level 3 was downgraded into alert level 2.
All right, maraming salamat. Thank you very much for that update. That is Mr. Ronald Torres, Head of Calatagan, Batangas, MDRRMO. Now, no tsunamis are expected from the magnitude 6.7 earthquake in Calatagan, Batangas, but PHIVOLCS warns of more aftershocks in the coming hours. In an interview with One News, PHIVOLCS Director Renato Solidum said that aftershocks will still occur. However, Solidum notes that there will be no tsunamis in relation to earthquakes since the magnitude is not that strong to cause a tidal wave.
Usually, tsunami-genic earthquakes or earthquakes that would cause tsunami would be shallow, less than 50 kilometers. So, by that statistics, deep earthquake and not so strong earthquake, there will be no tsunami.
Solidum also reminds everyone to be prepared and not to panic in case of another earthquake. Solidum also said that the public needs to assess whether a quake will cause damage or not.
Review your preparedness, what you do during the earthquake, and where do you situate yourself when you feel or there's an order for evacuation.
Meanwhile, PHIVOLCS lowered the Taal volcano's alert level status from level 3 to level 2. PHIVOLCS said eruptive activity at the Taal has reduced following the phreomagmatic eruptions of the main crater during the first weeks of July. The unrest was characterized by declining volcanic gas emission, very slight ground deformation, and positive microgravity anomalies. However, the agency warns that the lowered alert level does not mean that the residents, or the unrest rather, has ceased or the threat of eruption disappeared. Now, with less than a year before President Duterte steps down from his office, families of drug war victims continue to seek justice for their loved ones. Aside from this, they also have to deal with the victims' expiring cemetery lease. Mobile journalist Stanley Gaheta gives us a front seat to the story.
5 years ago, Adrian was gunned down by a team of policemen for his involvement in illegal drugs. For his mother, it was her darkest moment.
Kinasok po kami dito sa bahay ng mga pulis. Ikaw ba yung pangalan ng anak ko nga? Ayun, sabi ng anak ko, hindi po. Yung isang pulis, hindi. Si ganyan at si ganyan ay isang pangalan lang yan, isang tao lang yan. Yan na yun. Ikaw pala, may patong ka sa ulo. Pinagbabaril ang anak ko.
This is where Adrian was shot dead by 3 police officers. The bullet holes in the wall are mute witnesses to his brutal killing. One of more than 6,000 who died in Duterte's blood-soaked war on drugs, his signature policy when he came to power in 2016. Now, the families of poor drug war victims face another problem. Authorities want to exhume the remains if they cannot pay the annual dues to public cemeteries. Despite rains, Lorena Casquejo visited her husband's tomb in one of the 5-level type of burial apartments in Taal Cemetery in North Caloocan. In 2 months, her 5-year lease in the cemetery will lapse. She has no money to extend the lease for another 5 years.
Sa ngayon po talaga, hindi ko pa naasikaso kasi wala pa po akong pera.
Lorena said she will find ways to pay 5,000 to 7,000 pesos to renew the list.
Totoo po na talaga ang kakrimen.
The Philippine National Police said more than 6,000 have died and about 283,000 drug users and peddlers have been arrested since Duterte's Day 1 in Malacanang. Human rights groups said the actual death toll could be from 20,000 to 30,000, including those killed by mass vigilantes.
5 taon na walang nangyayari, no? Ganon at ganon pa rin. Halos mga maliliit ang naging biktima ng pakayan.
Many groups can't wait in Duterte's final term. For them, while justice remains elusive, I am Stanley Gahete and we are One News.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 1 in the afternoon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.